The glutton. Yes. So in our last class, we have dealt with all the psychosis excess. That is the too much desires, anything more than what he needs, desires more than what he needs. And the rubrics like avarice, greed, gluttony, yes, such kind of rubrics we have dealt with in our last class. And we have done some differentiation also of the materia medica of various drugs like Arsal, etc., no? Belladonna, Lacases, so many medicines we have, Veratrum, Albanol, we have made the, even Naxomica also, the differentiations. So today we are coming to the next one more symptom of the psychotic miasm. That one more symptom is nothing but the high intellect. The high intellect, and now, later on we are coming into the morals. The morals can be good morals or bad morals, that we will come later on. So now we are dealing with the intellect. And how do you think the intellect? In his what age? Maybe 30 and after, 30 and above. Yeah. Such kind of people will be having a lot of experience in their life, good experiences and bad experiences from their childhood days. So much of fights or emotions underwent, and that is why they are into psychosis excess, and that too early psychosis. Maybe their soric phase was due to the family circumstances. The soric phase would have been a smaller one, a shorter one, and they immediately go into the next gear, that is the psychosis. So they have got much more experience. If the child is a lucky child, if it is born in a very calm and complacent house where he has not seen any fights, etc., his sora will be too much. His sora will be so much. Psychosis will be coming up slowly only, no? Like they will be kind of nerds and all, no? We talk about such persons. They don't know anything about the outer world, and they are so naive, and they are so gullible, and they don't know they don't know to protect themselves, and they are so sensitive, and they go into their shell. They are shy. They don't want to come out. That timidity is there. Whereas if it is a so-called unlucky child, where from the birth, from the childhood days, from the early days itself, it would have underwent so many loss in the family, like it would have seen the death of uncles or grandparents, or even father, or even death of mother, and it would have been brought up in a separate family situation, like stepmother, and then those kind of tortures, mental tortures, physical tortures, and then their siblings, no, like sibling rivalry will be there. Uncle's children will be looking at us, looking at this child with some looked down upon with contempt. Like that contemptuous look will be given by the other children of the family, like, oh, okay, because of you we are all struggling, etc. No, I would have got a better laptop or something, and now my father have to take care of you people also. That is why I did not get the very good brand of laptop, etc. No, like so many such kind of comparisons will be there. So this child cuts off its sora. With sora, it cannot survive. It knows, and it goes into the psychosis, into the next stronger defense mechanism much earlier. And these children, when they grow up into their 30s or 40s, they know kind of everything in and out, and their intellect will be, they will not be able to fight in the society or be in that status and to remain in that status forever. So they should have that kind of an intellect. So now let us do the intellect of the psychotic people. So that is in page number 132. Profuseness of thought processes, whether they are good or bad, their morals can be good or bad. So if they are the CEO of a certain company, or even in literary works, no, like there will be a lot of profuseness of thought processes that leads one to become an intelligent entity. The awareness for knowledge stems from desire to achieve more and become greatest or unique or unparalleled. In our last class, we have talked enough and more about awareness, but that was awareness of the material thing, awareness for money, awareness for food, awareness for property, etc. But then here we are talking about the same awareness can be in this domain of intellect also, where they have that thirst for knowledge, that hunger for knowledge, and they will be like voracious readers. They would have read everything at everything, and like they will be like thorough with the knowledge. That awareness will be there in the knowledge in the domain of knowledge, and that stems from what? The desire to achieve more and to be the number one, be the greatest, be the unique, and be the unparalleled. This will be. And the fertility of the brain in psychosis excess may make an individual an intellectual. Okay. The brain is full of fantastic ideas, immense possibilities, and probabilities, mostly constructive or at times also very destructive. To maneuver, escape, rationalize, or to devise an excuse becomes a child's play. This fertile brain can think of new designs, new theories, and can create new things leading to discoveries and inventions. So all those scientists are in the psychotic phase. So leading to new discoveries and new inventions. Either side of the brain, the left brain standing for logic and analysis, and the right brain, which helps in the purpose of creativity and imagination, both are functionally well enhanced and well balanced in the making of a scientist or a discoverer or even a poet. We say that the right brain people are, they will be mostly of the left-handed persons, no, like that left-handed side will be more activated, and that will be a kind of weak persons, and they will be more artistic talented people like poet, or and yeah, writing poetries or more in the literary works, artistic people, very sensitive and all that. Whereas the logic people, the scientific people, the discoverers, the achievers, the angry achievers are all left dominated brain that falls on the right hand side. So most of the complaints will be on the right hand side. We say that the right handed persons are more achievers, angry achievers, scientists, discoverers. There the logical and analytic brain will be much more active. Yeah, much more active on the left side of the brain, which means the right handed person. So whatever it is, whichever side they belong to, uh, they will be the highest or the number one, the best in their jobs. Okay. The creative and imaginative brain can give birth to poems, verses, or even stories to make a good poet or a famous author. So here, I don't want to simply go read on and on. So when a psychotic person comes to us with all these points, let me give you some cases. I thought I'll be discussing some rubrics, but then some case is coming to my mind regarding the verses making. This was an interesting case of a lady who had come for a calcanean spur. How many of you have seen calcanean spur in your clinic? There will be pain in the heel. Yes. And bilateral calcanean spur. With the X-ray, when the patient is coming up, there was like nail kind of thing growing downwards. No, like they will not be able to keep their foot down. So what is the differential diagnosis for a calcanean spur? Come on, come on. The differential diagnosis will be plantar fasciitis. Yes. Vidya is saying something. Yeah, Anusha Venugopal. Yeah, you nailed it. You are the quickest one. Plantar fasciitis, yes. The symptoms will be of the same thing. If it is plantar fasciitis, what is the miasm? What is the miasm in plantar fasciitis? Sora. And what is the miasm in calcanean spur? It is a growth. Psychotic excess, psychosis, yes. So here, in plantar fasciitis, you can always deal that with the typical rust talks, etc. Why? Because the modalities are the same, no? The aggravation in the initial motion. In the first 2 to 3 steps, the patient can't even walk straight. After the 10th step, the patient will be able to walk along, run along, continued walk amelioration, and the beginning walk gives you aggravation. That is the typical picture of the plantar fasciitis as well as calcanean spur. So the inflammation will be subsided immediately. There will be some ailments from, if it is a psoriatic thing. What can be the ailments from? Ailments from continued standing, or ailments from using an improper footwear, or ailments from overexertion, or ailments from too much of step climbing down, some functions, etc., etc. All these things will be the physical ailment, or too much into the wet weather, or without wearing the chappal, the patient has been standing a lot upon the wet floor. So all these things can cause that, can trigger the plantar fasciitis. That is the psoriatic variety. Or there can be some mental pressure also. Like what? Like it is the heel area. So the heel area is for us to go forward, to go forward. So when there is a hindrance in their life, when the husband is not allowing the patient to go forward, and if the patient is a right-handed person, yeah, so means it will be affecting on the right side. If it will be affecting on the right side of the heel, and maybe if the somebody else, yes, want to crush a, just yeah, Archana is giving me some inputs. Want to crush a person with self devaluation. Yes, what does that mean? Crush a person with self devaluation. So this person, yeah, maybe this lady is an ambitious lady. For example, we are giving the example of a husband and wife here, an imaginary case. So the wife wants to do some work and all that, and the husband is saying, "Why do you want to leave home and go? You take care of the kids, you take care of the home. I am earning well. Why do you want to go?" So this was an ambition of the child. It's not always for the money, but then it is for our own that self worth. And the husband or the family or the even the seniors, other seniors like the in-laws are all putting her down. No, you don't go for work, and under strict control, if the patient is kept, no, like that can be kind of self-devaluation. This is one example of self-devaluation. And when the movements are restricted, no, where the patient is not given the freedom to go and achieve her life desires. No, everybody has got that desire, and that is our identity. So when, for a small thing like this, very small thing like this, sometimes we even lose our identity. That will be going into the next level. But then here anyway, it starts as a psoriatic complaint. It can even go to the rheumatoid arthritis level later on. But then it can even start as a plantar fasciitis. And many ladies I have seen, when they are weeping with the complaint, when they are narrating their complaint about the pain, they will be weeping, and then the patient will be hot and thirstless, and the pain is either on the right side or the left side. It is of a psoriatic thing, psoriatic plantar fasciitis. What is the remedy now? It is not rust tox.
Pulsatilla.
Pulsatilla, yes. So pulsatilla, belladonna, even bryonia, rust tox, alumina. So all these things, no, it will work fantastically in the psoriatic cases. But when it is a calcanean spur, how many of you have treated calcanean spur completely? Yes. When it is a bilateral calcanean spur, yes, Arya is saying something? Yeah, you would have seen such cases, and sometimes it is very difficult. With one dose of Rustox 1 m, with one dose of Pulsatilla, the patient is weeping like anything, but with one dose of Pulsatilla, it doesn't work. Why? because because there is something else more deeper into that. Yeah, it has even created the growth. So now here I am giving you this case of a lady who had bilateral calcanean spur, and this case taught me a lot. This was maybe some 10 years back, and this lady has brought her child to me, and child was having a chronic asthmatic complaint, and child was getting better. Suddenly this lady started getting up, and then she was like dancing on the leg. She can't stand from the sitting position, and then she was like dancing. She was a very happy lady. This lady is a very happy, very cheerful lady, and always she will be. These are the keynote points, so you better listen and then give me the remedy. Okay, the lady is, no doubt, she is in the psychotic phase, right? Her disease also is psychotic, but I never knew that she is having a disease. I was constantly treating her child for months together. The child was a patient. This lady kept mum. She never told about her complaint. So, yeah, how the method by which, or the language, the flowery language, not even flowery language, I will say. I shall give you some examples. This is in Tamil, okay? So forgive my language, so the Tamil, not knowing Tamil people, sorry. She will be using terminologies like this: phat phat phat, tap tap tap, when she is explaining, she is using such kind of words in order to explain her daughter's complaint. Mus, mus, mus. மூச்சு விடவே முடியல அப்படியே முஸ் முஸ் முஸ்னு அப்படி முஸ் முஸ்னு அப்படி விடுவா. This was the kind of the slang what she was using. அப்படியே பட்டுன்னு ஒன்று கொடுத்தா அப்படியே நச்சுன்னு ஒன்று வாங்குவா. Something like this. No, this kind of a language she was bringing. Always this kind of a, in Malayalam we will say it as like prasam. Or to say, no, like that kind of a words. They are putting up words like that. Phat, 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 phat. In every sentence, there will be some phat, phat or some tut, tut or some tut, tut and all that. Okay, Shiny Korean said it right. That was versus makes, but I never bothered about the mother until she came to me for this calcanean spur. Suddenly she was standing and dancing. Then I asked, why there are tears in your eyes? What happened? And then she was to the brim of her eyes, not because that she was mentally sensitive, but I always thought that she is an Ophidia lady. She was not like a Pulsatla and Atrimur kind of lady. She was not that sensitive. Even when the daughter is suffering with so much of asthmatic trouble, she will make fun of her. She will laugh at her. And then she will be, she is a cheerful lady, a mirth, hilarity lady, okay? There is no question of crying and all in this lady. But then this lady was in tears now. That is only because of the pain intolerance. The pain was so much that there was tears in her eyes. And then she said, yes, doctor, this has been my condition since the past 1 month. I am not able to stand at all. I don't know what has happened. I asked her to do initially I thought, okay, this is a plantar fasciitis. You keep your leg in warm water, it will get better. The fascia is stiffened. Now it is inflamed. Now it has to become little softer. So you better keep your feet in warm water and I shall give you 1 dose of medicine and that will be the end of the story. And I gave her Veratrum by looking into the versus makes. Okay, versus makes. And why did I give Veratrum? I just confirmed it. Okay, do you have any thirst for water? She said, I want so much of water. I drink too much of water and I drink cold water. I always keep water in the fridge and I want that aerated drinks. What is the remedy? Veratrum, I gave her 1 potency. Nothing happened. There was no improvement. No improvement. Then, hey, what did I miss? What did I miss here? What did I miss here? And then I looked into other remedies which are having the versus making. Now, come on. What are the other remedies? It is not only Veratrum always, no? Yeah, there are 15 medicines under versus making. But then yes, it was cannabis. It was cannabis, yes. And I gave her a dose of cannabis. And from that time onwards, from the next day onwards, there is no pain. Whether the calcanean spur has disappeared or not, we never take the X-ray and see. Yeah, we have just seen the first X-ray that there is the growth. What do you think? Will that growth would have disappeared in 1 day? Whether the growth is there or not? Or do you think that the growth has appeared in 1 day? The patient, indica, cannabis indica was given. So we know that the calcanean spur would have taken a long time for it to grow to this much level, no, like 1 inch level. Yeah, but then with this 1 inch growth, 1 centimeter or 1 inch growth of the calcanean spur, the lady had walked all through her life and she never complained of any pain. So there would have been some sensitive point in her life which had created the pain. Okay, so when we gave our medicine, that was the end of the story. After cannabis indica 1 dose, the lady came here again and again for her daughter again, not for herself. And she was all in smiles. Yeah, there was no pain at all after that. So whether the spur is there or not is not the question. Even if the spur is there, the patient did not complain for years together. And now with the spur, the patient is able to carry on her daily routine without any pain or ache. Both the leg feet disappeared in 1 dose of cannabis indica. So this is the beauty, no? Like when the patients are coming in the psychotic level, maybe that Veratrum, no, like I don't know, like it is not covering, it did not cover the case at all. Whereas cannabis indica, generally we say as a sorosyphilitic remedy, and cannabis sativa is actually the psychosyphilitic. But then here, I think I was not so familiar with cannabis sativa at that time. So if I had given cannabis, then it would have been cannabis indica itself, but then it has done the it has done the case. So certain patients, no, like they will be humming a song, or they will be doing some sort of clapping movements, or some verses in their daily life. There will be a lot of this verses, poems, singing, and all that. All those things are important for us, and we can pick up the apt rubrics in order to have the entry into the case. Other thing is cannabis indica again, theorizing remedies and sulfur. How will a sulfur or a cannabis indica, how do you pick up this rubric of theorizing in your daily practice? Like the patient will be saying, no, doctor, there is some white spot in my nail, or there is some dots upon the lips, or on the tongue. Is it a liver problem? I know it is because of liver problem, so you give me one liver remedy also. So this is theorizing. Yeah. The patient would not have, or would have searched into the Google Mata, Chat GPT and all that. Whether even before the Google Chat GPT was there, the rubric theorizing is there. Through some medical reading, or through some medical books, or through some hearsay, the patient has got that fixed idea in his mind, or some theorizing and going into the fixed idea. Fixed idea is which rubric, which miasm, psychotic. Theorizing is which miasm, psychotic. And so ideas abundant. Next one, again a psychotic miasm. Ideas abundant, there are so many medicines, and you all know about lycopodium. Yes, ideas abundant, bed in. That is again another important thing. No, like patient will be saying, when I sleep off, or just before I sleep off, I will get many ideas. I will be thinking that question in my mind and going to bed, doctor. It may be even for a siesta in the afternoon when I go to bed, or maybe in the night when I go to bed. I will get all sorts of answers, or I will get all sorts of ideas. No, like many doctors are there who say that, even homeopathic doctors, like how to crack this case, and they go to bed. And in the sleep, no, like they will get, maybe Vijaykar sir is coming up and teaching that case, or somebody else is coming, and or even the Kent book, or some book will be kept open in there, and then they come into that sentence. Okay, this is it. So ideas abundant, bed in. The first one is Lycopodium, Calcarea, Naxomica, Pulsatilla, Rustox. Okay. Then, then, then I wanted to tell you something. Okay, ideas abundant. Why Rustox? You know, during the sleep, Rustox, no, always physically active. That restlessness and physically active. Uh, I will give a small example here. Like even my daughter, she's a dancer, always physically active. And some steps and all she is not able to get, or not able to recollect, or going into new steps, and having that anxiety in the mind. Okay, I am not able to recollect that part of the steps and all. No, that will be coming up again and again in the dream or in the mind. So that is again ideas abundant of Rustox. And another thing is, like we will be thinking, or in the dreams. What is the dreams of Rustox? As if you are swimming, no, as if you are swimming in water, or as if you are swimming in the ocean, or as if you are climbing a mountain. So much of restlessness and exertion in Rustox. Again, that is part of ideas abundant, because you will be recollecting something in that movement, in that restlessness. You will be getting some answers. For example, in our college days, when we did not have the computerized repertory at that time, we had to repertorize every case, some 30 to 40 case sheets we have to submit. And for all those things, we will have to collect the rubrics, and then you have to manually do the marks. No, that repertory sheet will be there with columns and rows, and you have to look into the repertory and fill, no, like, okay, Rustox 3 marks, Pulsatilla 3 marks, Naxomica 1 mark, etc. No, like, so this will be coming on and on and on in your mind. In the dreams, you will be filling up repertory sheets. So what is that remedy? Again, it can be Rustox. Yeah. Many often we will not give Rustox. We have not used Rustox thoroughly, but then Rustox can be given for cancers. I have seen other stalwarts giving Rustox, and they have cured cancers with Rustox. Now, another friend of, see, this verses making is Natrum Muir. So Natrum Muir is always a sad song lover, right? And they will be making this verses when they go to sleep. Sleep on, there is only one remedy. Sleep on going to Natrum Muir. Sometimes the wives can say, no, like always he will be in sad mood only, or maybe in sad songs he will be humming around, and then he will be having that, what to say, that brooding will be there, that dwelling will be there. but then when he's going to bed, he will be making some verses. So the best remedy will be natramur. So natramur is also a music lover, but then towards the sad music. So the psychosis is very interesting that way. When you will have to learn a lot from the psychotic patients. When see, most of the things which the psychotic person is producing will be wrong, or it will be a facade. What the patient is narrating will be wrong, or it will be a facade. Why? It will be only projecting up. They don't want to put them down, put down themselves. So that is why they will be, I am like this, I am like that. They will be talking great about themselves. So what you have to do, you have to just look into the language of the patient, whether he is talking loudly, whether he is talking hastily, whether he is using flowery language, whether he is using words of heavy weightage, and whether he is using that dominance, or whether he is showing the power. How? By pounding on the table, or by using such kind of movements. So all this body language and the verbal language is what the doctor has to look for, not the blah blah blah. The rest of the things will be only blah blah blah. See, like I did not even go into the case of the cannabis indica, because I have been knowing her since many months, since she was a frequent visitor of my clinic. So I knew that whatever story the lady is noticing, I never narrated any story for that lady. But then what was pronounced here was her mirth, her hilarity, and her always that smiling cheerful drug remedy, always smiling cheerful remedy, and the verses making. With that we could crack that case. So similarly, the psychotic patients will be throwing up n number of body languages, catch hold of them. The hastiness, the hurriedness, the pompous, or the vanity, or the coquettishness. So many things we will be coming to all those interesting psychotic rubrics in our upcoming pages. Now, the last two sentences of the page number 132, after the verses, now comes the quickness. Yes, the quickness of perception, analysis, and application of one theory to another, and practical observation leads to theorizing in such brains. We have already talked about the theorizing. Most of the scientists and great discoverers owe their discoveries perhaps to such a psychotic intellect. Who is the best psychotic intellect for us, predictive homeopaths? It is none other than Dr. Prafful Vijaykar. What has he done? He has produced the acute chart, the theory of acute ailments from Bap re Bap. There is no words. It is a wonders daily, day in and day out with for every acute case. And even you can make use of that in the chronic cases as well. So beautiful it is. So that is that discovery. It is already there in Kent's Materia Medica, in all the hundreds and thousands of Materia Medica. It is always there. But then he was the one to give it as a desktop guide, as a table. So as a formula, DHT, DHTL, DCT, DCTL, everybody knows this. Dull, chilly, thirsty, or thirstless. Dull, chilly, yeah, thirsty. And dull, hot, thirsty, or thirstless. Or active, or sleepy, or versus making while fever. See? And the asthma chart, he only gave, Dr. Prafful Vijaykar sir. And all these books, of course, and I wanted to tell you something. Quickness of perception, analysis, and application of one theory to another. Here, he has read one book, no? What is that one book? Written by Samuel Hahnemann, Our Chronic Diseases and our Aphorisms. By connecting all these things and connecting the embryology upon that, he has created the 7 layers of suppression. Yes, where else do we get the 7 layers of suppression? And he has proved the Hering's law to be true. This is the reason why you are able to see the Hering's law in your daily practice, because of the 7 layers. Who gave us the 7 layers? Dr. Prafful Vijaykar sir. So this is how the perception, the analysis, and application of one theory to another, organon of medicine and aphorisms, and connecting that with the embryology, with the pathology, with the pathophysiology, with the histopathology, everything, everywhere he has created a formula, he has created a mathematics here. Great visionary he is. So theorizing in such brains, most of the scientists, so that is the reason why Vijaykar sir is known as a Einstein of homeopathy. Most of the scientists and great discoverers owe the discoveries perhaps to such a psychotic intellect. Thanks to that. Now there is a bad side. Yeah, there is the other side of the coin. Bad side to this same quality too. When a sly element is added to this intellect, it makes a perfect pirate. Yeah, pirated books, stories, songs, films, and even theories are offered to the world camouflaged as originals, copying clandestinely, taking 3 or 4 theories. What is clandestinely? Clandestinely means keeping something as a secret, keeping something as a secret, often something illegal, some illegal thing. Taking 3 to 4 theories and combining and dishing out a brand new one is a surreptitious act of a psychosis excess intellect. Now, what is surreptitious? Surreptitious word meaning is again keeping it as a secret, knowing that it will not be approved, which means there is a bad element there. Yeah, you know that this will not be approved, so that is why you are working for that, but then you are keeping it as a secret. Yes. So such intellect gives rise to modern day politicians or even the much maligned gurus in saffron or white garbs, misleading the masses by their manipulative intellect and eloquence. Here too, they do not practice what they preach, which is also true in homeopathic world. Yeah. So, okay, so this is the bad side of the psychosis. People who are on the sly and all that. Deceitful sly is the rubric. Deceitful sly. Again, no, like in psychosis, how will it show in the body? There would have been ascites, or there would have been cirrhosis of the liver, or there would have been this calcanean spur hidden for so many years. It was hidden there, it never shown out. Diabetes, 400 value. The patient never knew that. And when he eventually goes into the syphilitic phase, where he started losing weight like anything, yeah, and Archana, yes, even for stones, building up of stones inside the ureter or inside the kidneys or in the gallbladder, the patient never knew all those things. Why? This is the hidden thing on the slide, which means, of course, even you can make such question also, but then will the patient answer? Psychotic patient will never answer, or they will give you the wrong answer, or they will drag you into something and all like okay, they will not be giving you the correct answer or the right answer. So you will have to use all your antennas in order to tackle the psychotic case. This is the reason why sometimes we don't get any result in the gallbladder stones. Sometimes we never get any result in the gallbladder stones. Sometimes we get fantasy. If the medicine is right, then within no time the patient gets the gallbladder and then it gets disappeared. They will be remaining there without any symptom, asymptomatic, or very rarely they will be getting some symptoms, or they will be having some perverse symptoms. No, like the pain will not be typically at the Murphy's point. It will be somewhere, no, like in the epigastral region. And then the patient will be always complaining that I'm getting pain, and with your medicine, the pain is not getting any better. And you ask, where do you get the pain? And the patient will not be giving you the correct answer. No, here and all it is paining. Here and all means where? You will make the patient sit and you will examine all the 9 areas of the abdomen, and then you know that the patient is finally eventually saying the pain is at the epigastrium. Why is it so? Because in psychosis everything will be vague. In Sora, the pain means it is pain. There will be no lying in Sora. In psychosis, is it a pain? Means sometimes it pains, sometimes it not pains. So this will be the very psychosis answer. And if it is the real gallbladder stone colic, how will the pain be? How will the pain be? The pain typically, yes, Arya? Unmute and say no. Come on.
Point in a point.
Yes. Murphy's point, yes. How many hours the pain will last? 4 hours. If it is 1 hour, then it is not gallbladder colic. It can be any other colic. It can be a normal gaseous colic. If it is a typical gallbladder colic, the patient will not be complaining. Rather, the patient will faint. Or along with that, there can be throwing up, there can be vomiting. And usually the pain can go into the back also towards the inferior angle of the scapula or at that eighth rib, no, like at that Murphy's point. But sometimes it will not be as the typical textbook symptom. The patient will be saying that the pain is at the epigastrial area or the entire chest area or the entire back area or the entire abdomen. But the pain will be excruciating pain because the pain will be radiating to all the area and the patient will not be able to pinpoint at least say where it is exactly paining. But then it will go into a spasm kind of thing and the patient will not be able to move or wriggle for 4 long hours. Then you can think that, okay, this is an obstructed thing. This was the spasm of the biliary duct. It is the colic. Otherwise, no, generally I have seen patients like that, and this is not going into acute abdomen and all. After 4 hours, no, by that fourth hour, what will they do? Either they will be in kind of collapse state and somebody will take them to some doctor or some painkiller will be given. But then 4 long hours, the pain will be there. Similarly, for fissures, there can be minimal 4 hours, 4 hours pain. So this 4 hours is the spasmodic, that is the time limit of the spasms. So don't get confused with the epigastrial pains. The patient will be very often complaining of to the gallbladder stone because the patient knows with the scan report for some XYZ reasons or for the master health checkup, the patient would have gone for the scan and ended up finding that you are having gallbladder stones. From that time onwards, the patient will start complaining of all sorts of pain in the abdomen only because of his or her anxiety. Okay. And you don't have to jump into a gallbladder stone colic remedy. No, you don't have to panic. You have to just observe. You don't tell the patient that, okay, gallbladder stone means 4 hours pain. No, don't tell them that. After eating, the pain will start. Okay. But then how many hours did you suffer? You can always have that question. Yeah. Then you can calculate yourself, okay, is this an epigastrial pain, gastric kind of pain, acidity kind of pain, or is it a typical gallbladder colic? Yeah. Clear? Now coming to the next paragraph, that is of the morals. Yes. Now the morals can be good morals or bad morals. The petty thieves, robbers, and gangsters, respectively, are steps in ladder-like progression of psychosis immorals. The gangster, no, like all of a sudden he doesn't become the dada of that area. No, what you say, not dada, no, some don, don of that area. He doesn't become the don all of a sudden. He will start as a thief. In his soric phase, he will be like pickpocketing and all that, no, because of hunger or because of like Jean Valjean. You all know the story of Jean Valjean. Why did he break open into the bakery and took a loaf of bread? He was a petty thief, but can we label as a thief? His life situation was like that. So life situation only makes a person good or bad, no? We homeopaths will understand that fully. So the petty thief, and after that, when his condition is not improving or he is already having that bad morals in his genes, then he can go into the robber, the next stage, that is the robber, and then later on gangsters, yeah, rowdies and all that. So this most primary step of achieving primary needs in illegal surreptitious way starts from insufficient nutrition. Yes, Jean Valjean story is coming up. Insufficient nutrition. Sora, how much can you tolerate hunger? So one day you will have to break open into something. No. For the individual whose daily needs of bread and butter for himself and his family are not met with, hunger looms large in front of him. Insufficient daily necessities of life, despite working hard for it, propels him to acquire it in a clandestine way. That means something illegal. It is a mad, mad world. There is a race for survival, especially in overpopulated countries like India, where demands are more and supply is less. One starts stealing to survive. A fear constantly lurks behind his mind that he is doing something wrong. He may be caught and punished. Once he succeeds in acquiring money in this manner, the soric conscientiousness starts giving way to psychotic slyness and non-conscientiousness. Are you with me? At this stage, a mixture of emotions prevail. The soric anxiety and the psychotic fear of being caught and beaten up are both trying to overpower each other. Once success after success is achieved, then the soric anxiety disappears. Now to hell with the conscience. The person becomes thick-skinned. It is a slang, but apt phrase used to describe psychosis by layman inadvertently. Verbatim, he becomes thick due to the accumulation of psychosis. We have seen this thickness in psychosis, right? What sort of thickness? There can be thickness of the skin, yes. There can be blackness of the skin, and all sorts of papular eruptions there, and warts and callosities and corns. All these are all examples of thick skin. Even the hypermelanosis, melasma, all these are again thick skin, part of thick skin. They don't care, kind of thing. That fear, that is gone, that anxiety is gone, and they are into full-fledged psychosis. So the next line is, though fear lurks from within, a thick wall of rationalization is built. He goes on acquiring the needs, which within short time turns to greed. Initially, he is doing all this robbery for greed, but then later on, his demands increases and it goes into greed. The easy money later is used to carry on the same business of flicking pockets by using smaller thieves hired by him. What is the best example? Here, no, like the chain snatchers are there. We know these chain snatchers are all not of the South Indian people. South Indian people also will be there, but then somebody else is controlling them from the north, from somewhere. These people know they will do some 10 or 15 chain snatching, and they are coming in bike. So we cannot chase them and catch hold of them. From the corner, when the lady is turning a corner, they will just do the chain snatching and they will disappear in the bike, and in the evening they go their place in the flight. This is the typical psychotic robbery. They go into somewhere, maybe in the north or we don't know where, but then they disappear in the flight. Yeah. So which means what? These people are only the servants. They are given the bike and they are given some agents, and they are given the agents of like the gold, the ornaments. No, it will be losing its shape. No, like they will be giving to some goldsmith, and they will be converting that into mass of gold only, so that the identity of the ornaments also will be lost. All these are part of business only. So these are the peoples, the real chain snatchers. They are all maybe of the soric variety, or coming into the psychotic thing because of their either the immoral, or they want to grow rich early without learning, or without going into the school, etc. No, like such kind of people they are. In the easy method, or in the clandestine way, in the sly way, they want to become rich in overnight. They want to become rich and all that. So these people are the agents of some don sitting somewhere hidden. He will be controlling from there. Yeah, you would have seen this Slumdog Millionaire, no? That in that all this you would have seen such small children who are in the soric phase, but then unfortunately they are orphans. They are children of destitute mothers. Orphans they are. So in order for them to have the food, they have to do all these bad things, which the children may be knowing or may not be knowing, but then there is no other choice for them at that time. Out of them, people who are having the good morals will come up as that person, no, like who came up as a guide, as a tourist guide, whereas his counterpart was like behaved like a don, and he ended up in that money of bed, in the bed of money. Yeah, he ended up in the bed of money. So this easy money later is used to carry on the same business of flicking pockets by using smaller thieves hired by them. He becomes the boss of a gang, protected by guards, sitting in the safety of home. He is a coward, not risking his dear life and getting his work done from others. This organization may acquire larger dimensions, sometimes even to international levels. The petty thief, who once started as a pauper, becomes a person with high ambitions, acquires high standards of living, and becomes the most exclusive and the too elusive. He operates internationally with a big nexus of people and gangsters ready to work for him, die for him, and kill for him, all at a price which he is more than willing to pay. He is the brain behind. Very often he manipulates and maneuvers his way to become a respectable, charitable, magnanimous philanthropist, VIP, industrialist, or even a minister. All credit goes to his psychotic brain. So there is nothing to explain here. You all know the stories. The defense or miasm of psychosis, which is based on the aberration departure from what is true, right, or correct, of which is based on the aberration of function of reproduction, tend to have a sexual hue. Sex is one of the methods of reproduction and which is dominant trait in man. Thus, the psychosis, whether excess or less, are likely to revolve around this. Of course, such people know, like who are already in the safety of so many. So many people around him, so many black cats around him, that protection, they can do any bad things, no? The excess of sexual desire and the urge for gratification of sexual urge makes a fertile psychotic mind manipulate circumstances to achieve what they want. The boss, enjoying a clandestine affair with his secretary or multitudes of them, and then, when threatened with obvious consequences, getting cold feet due to the coward nature is an ideal example of psychosis morals. Fear of being caught or exposed, losing his social position is uppermost in his mind. Flirting with ladies, ideas, jobs, and even dangers may make him appear capricious or even frivolous. The mind is full of lust, leading to lasciviousness in acts and speech. Such constitutions very often suffer from bad effects of masturbation or debauchery. So this is the bad morale of the psychosis miasm. Yes. So I think I will close it here. So antisocial, moral affection, antisocial. Where will you get the rubric of this? So if you are getting a kind of a bad person, will the person say that I'm a bad person? I had all these affairs, all these bad thoughts in my mind, etc., etc. I was a friend of a gangster and all. Will anybody say that? But then, because due to your that CID attitude, or due to the questioning, or with the looking into the uh yes. Yes, through our keen observation power, or maybe getting one or two symptoms from the bystanders, you will know that, okay, you can always uh, yeah, sorry, yeah. So the moral affection want of, that is the apt rubric. Moral affection, that is antisocial. Aeschylus, Anacadium, Granitum, and Syphilinum. So why Aeschylus is antisocial? Again, Aeschylus, in the keynote itself, I think we have seen that symptom. Sly deceitful, another rubric. Yes. Aeschylus child. I have once read somewhere. Aeschylus child, no, like it will be showing that bad behavior, and then it will be kind of killing the animals and all, even catching hold of the cock or the hen and all that, and throwing stones at them. Aeschylus. Anacadium, bad morals. And an academe can be good also, no? Why? Because it has got the two wills. In the bad will kind of thing, when the bad will comes up, props up, an academe will be having no moral affection at all. It can go to any extent. Granite is a hard-hearted person. Syphilinum. Okay, I don't know much about syphilinum here, but syphilinum, by nature, it is a nosode, of course, and it has got that syphilitic miasm, the destructive miasm. Hence, it can be of a very bad moral, like people who are living in the slums and all that, with the bad moral. All the people who are living in the slums are not bad. Yes. But then there can be alcohol addiction. Yes. Thank you, Archana. Alcohol addictions. Huh? Give me one second. Ah. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Then there is another rubric. So I wanted to tell you one scenario explained by Vijaykar sir regarding granite. You may be knowing that this father was not taking care of his family at all. He was a very, very hard-hearted person. Very, very hard-hearted person. And the daughter, the 35-year-old daughter, finally she herself joined the job and found out a job for herself, and then she started earning money, and then she collected all the money, etc. And then she found out a groom for herself, and then she said that, bless me, dad, I'm going to get married, or my please get me married off. Then the father, no, he got hold of some money from his own savings, and then he threw that money on her. Take this money and go get married. So this was the expression of a hard-hearted person, the typical example of a hard-hearted person. Kind of, instead of blessing the child, get lost kind of thing. And throwing the money on the face and all is the real ultimate, the hard-heartedness, example of hard-heartedness. Then there is one interesting rubric, moral affection, criminal disposition to become a without remorse, criminal disposition to become without remorse. There are only 5 remedies there. One remedy is R-salb. R-salb. Can you think about R-salb in such a rubric? Moral affection, want of, criminal disposition to become without remorse. What have we learnt about ourselves? A highly anxiety conscious person is the typical picture coming to our face. But then in the syphilitic phase, ourself has got this phase where he is, because of utter miserly and selfishness for a property, for some struggle in the, ourselves is very notorious for that, no? For collecting money, for collecting property. If there is some fight in the family, then the son can take a dagger and kill the dad also, without any moral affection, without any remorse, because this house is mine. I want this house. Now you get out of the house. If he is not getting out, okay, I will kill you. So without any remorse, because ourselves, because of the utter highest degree of selfishness and that miserliness. And in belladonna, the next remedy is belladonna. Belladonna, in one of the delirious phase, it can be angry. Yeah. So in that delirious phase and in that impulse phase, belladonna can do such things. Be the criminal without any remorse. Belladonna, suddenly it comes, no? Suddenly it comes, in the delirious phase it comes, and it doesn't know what it does at that time, belladonna, in psychiatric ailments. I have seen cases like that, where the patient, no, like he was of a good moral person. He was of a good moral person, in a psychiatric illness. When myself, Dr. Atira, Arya, Archana, and all went there once, no, to that psychiatric illum, there was a 27-year-old boy. He was the best person there, and he was little capable compared to other inmates of the psychiatric illum, and he was the one who was helping others to for their daily chores and all that. And suddenly, when we went there for our monthly discussion, then the caretaker was saying that this boy, he became suddenly angry, and out of an impulse, he even took the knife, or he threw up the bed, the cot and all was thrown up and all that, no? So for belladonna, such things can happen with an impulse. It can happen with in the delirious phase. The next medicine is hepar. In hepar, the sensitiveness is so much. Sudden bout of anger. It is very touchy and it can set things on fire. So that in hepar, that kind of an extreme sensitivity comes in, and that there is no intellect at that time. The patient doesn't know what he is doing because of that touchiness and because of that anger. He wants to just set things on fire. Merksol. Merksol is again an impulsive remedy, and impulse for homicide and for suicide. So whatever it is, kill or die. So that is the attitude of Merck. And of course, lachesis. Lachesis, because the genetically itself ophidias out of that lachesis and crotalus and all can become that snake behavior, no, like on the sly and waiting for revenge, making plans of revenge. And when it gets that all sorts of bad morals will be there and a criminal disposition will be there. I want to beat him, I want to bite him, I want to coil him, I want to kill him. So this will be the thinking of the lachesis. 3 more minutes left. Any quick discussions? Any doubts? Any significance for dreams of falling from a height repeatedly? I don't know, Shiny. Do anybody have any idea? Generally, we say that this can be thuja, dreams of falling. But then is there any significance? Maybe fear of falling, fear. Maybe fear of failures. Yes, Shubhangi. It can be fear of failures, of course. Some fear is there, no?
She might be, that person might be very ambitious and she might be have insecurity
Yes.
of failure.
Yes, it can be. When the dreams are coming repeatedly, of course, you can interpret that. But then that will be our last resort, okay? Don't enter the case through that thing. Only for you to confirm.
It is for a child actually. She is in 10th standard now.
Okay.
So she has a fear of that. Maybe that is why she is seeing it. She's trying her best, but she's not getting good marks.
Yes.
She's getting very less
Yes.
marks. So that could be the reason she's seeing.
Yes, very well explained by Shubhangi and by Kusum, where the child is having that anticipatory anxiety, and at the height of anticipatory anxiety, the child is falling down, like it is not able to succeed. Many often, maybe the child is going into the psychotic phase. That is why, because if it is still in the soric phase, generally we don't see such kind of rubrics of such kind of dreams of falling down and all that from a height. Generally, we see going for the exam, but then we missed the bus. Or when I wanted to, when I checked my pocket, there is no change and there is no pen, or there is no ink in the pen, or the answer paper, I can't see the answer paper, or I can't see such kind of. Or sometimes no, they will be embarrassed also. Sometimes suddenly they will see that I'm writing the exam, but then my trousers are not there, my pant is not there, I'm sitting without a pant and writing the exam. So such kind of symptoms generally I have heard about. In all these things will be in the soric phase, and all these things are considered as anticipatory anxiety. Falling down can be more of psychotic. So maybe this child is going into the psychotic phase and the anxiety is going towards the fear. In anxiety, there can be too many dreams, too many items in the dreams. In fear, there will be one item only, usually only one item, and that item will be constantly coming up, like it will be always falling down, that the theme will be always falling down, always falling down. Whereas in anticipatory anxiety and all, it can be shown in different methods in the dreams itself. Recently, I don't remember what medicine I had given, a case of a lady who was getting exposed. So she was having that fear of getting exposed because of her unknowingly she did a bad deed before her marriage. Unknowingly, it was kind of not her mistake, and that did not happen. That marriage did not happen. And even now, after 30 years of her marriage, she still has got that dream of getting exposed. She will be suddenly naked in front of others, and others are watching and making laughing at her, etc. Now this kind of a dream, and it was affecting her to the level of depression. And she started she was a very efficient lady, and she started losing her confidence in the real public itself, and in her work atmosphere. She was what to say, like her performance started falling down just because of this dream. She did not talk about this dream to anyone but me, not even to her husband. And I asked, why do you have any fear of getting exposed? Why? Because this is a psychotic dream. Again and again, that one dream is coming. It's not about me. It is not about anything else. So it is fear. If one thing again and again coming means there is some meaning to that. Okay, so what is the fear? That is the fear of getting exposed. Then she said that, okay, this had happened to me, but I'm of a good moral lady. I'm not a bad lady. But then this happened, and now I don't know, like, please help me out of this. Nowadays, this dream is started attacking me at any time because it is going towards the syphilitic space now. Then, what medicine did I give? I don't remember, dears. Very sorry for that. It was a fantastic thing. It was a fantastic remedy. I am not able to recollect it now. And with that one dose, in the next 1 week, the lady has given me a message in my mobile phone. Thank you for the wonderful remedy. It was not Cali, bro. I shall check that. I did not bring my laptop here. I shall check that, and in that group, I shall. It is not Senkris, dear. Of course, Senkris has got this kind of a dream of getting raped or dreams of abuse, child abuse and all. No, like Senkris will be always having such kind of sexual dreams. This is the exposing. I shall check into that and tell you. And the beauty is, because our medicine will reach the universe somehow. That person, her old boyfriend, has called her after 35 years of no connection. Now that person is also married and settled. That person has called her and he said her that all gone is gone. Mangalam nerundu njan. Like, you live your life, I am living my life. You are my good friend. Okay, forget whatever has happened after 35 years, he is calling her suddenly and saying this after giving this medicine. And now there is no guilt, no? Because all these years, that guilt, she was carrying the guilt. Maybe he was also carrying the guilt, and who knows what dreams he was having. We never know I have not even seen him. So he said that to her, okay, enough is enough, gone. Now I have forgiven. I have self-forgiven and I have forgiven yourself also, but then you are my good friend. Now I am having my own family. You are having your own family. We will take parts. So that connection, that thread is cut now. He too got cured. But this was a surprise to me. This was, although Vijaykar sir would say all these things from his experience, I never expected. Generally, I also used to predict little bit of things by mathematical calculation, okay? That, okay, after this medicine, maybe you will pass in the interview, or the interviewers will call you and you will get the best promotions, etc., etc. Or the marriage will happen in your family, etc., or child, something like that. No, I used to say that some changes will happen, or you will be shifting your house to somewhere else, etc., etc. Some good thing will happen to your life, and hereafter there is no need for the disease to be there. I generally say this to people, but then I never even imagined about this thing. I never even uttered this thing. And this lady is coming and telling me this. So this is the beauty of homeopathy. I don't know where it is reaching. So in that positive note, let us say bye-bye today. Wish you all the best, and may you all get good, nice cases in your clinic, and crack all those things and bring us the results here. Let us share our victories here in this platform. Okay. Bye, dears. Love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.